Hello, welcome back to Armchair Author Chats. We have an amazing lineup again today. We're going to start with the beautiful and talented Devon Gambrell, who has a female snarky character that I love so much that I kind of want to know more about how she came up with this. You know what? We're not going to wait any longer. We're going to bring her on in. Let's do that. Devon, hi.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm doing good. It's been a great weekend. We have an extra day here in the States.
Yay, vacation time. So, I wanted to start with the question I love to ask. And the Witch's Crystal is just so full of ups and downs and all these really good twists and turns. And your main character, she's, whew, Queen Estelle. I love her. Okay, so let's start with some magic. Can you share the moment you first felt that spark to write your book?
It wasn't really a spark. I wrote a short story that I showed my mom, and she said, "Okay, this is good, but I want to know about these background characters." So I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll write that for you." So what turned into a short story was not a short story. And then I wasn't um, prepared for like a larger project. So I went online, discovered writing groups and how to boost my creative writing. And then I was like, oh, wait, I can publish this myself. I don't have to like submit letters or anything. Oh, that sounds cool.
We're not beholden by the gatekeepers.
Yes.
So, did you have this story in your mind for some time, or was it sitting on a
Um,
shelf already pre kind of summarized?
it was sitting in the back of my mind because the short story I wrote, spoiler alert, are the children of this main cast
Ooh,
listening
I'm
to a
wondering if
story
that could
about
be expanded
the
upon
parents.
into another trilogy or something.
Yes.
You're such an amazing writer. I just love it. I love it. So, what inspired such a captivating storyline?
It wasn't so much a storyline as Annabelle herself. I reading all the books that I've read, you rarely run across a main character that is as snarky, and she you have to admit she is more than a little disrespectful to most people. But
Yeah, but you kind of love it. Like,
right. And I wrote her not to be likable. And I was surprised when people liked her. Like some people like her, some people don't. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll roll with
well,
it.
because she says things that you want to say, but you don't, and you reserve it. You use your filter, and she doesn't. She's like, you know what? No, we're gonna, we're
Yeah,
gonna just put it
no
out there.
filter, zero
Yeah,
filter.
no, absolutely. So, could you give us a sneak peek behind the curtain about your writing routine or any quirky habits you have when writing?
Writing routine when I'm actively writing, I would like to get a minimum of 1,200 words a day for about 4 days a week. Not to overexert myself or anything. Um, Quirky habits, I look at the keyboard when I type.
Ah, none of the looking away typing is
None
done.
of the looking away.
Well, I would have failed typing class for that one.
That's how I passed typing class in 8th grade
You
because
know,
they
the
tried to
fact
get you
that
to
we
look
even know
away.
about typing class.
Right. Yes.
We were so proud. We're like, hey, 80 words a minute, three mistakes. These kids grew up on them now, right?
Yes, they do.
So your characters, they feel real. Do you secretly borrow traits from people you know, or are they purely imaginative?
I borrow traits from characters that I have read. So Tanis is actually his my main inspiration for him came from this book. Let me grab it real quick.
Yeah, the outstretched.
The Outstretched Shadow by Mercedes Lackey and James Malroy. The main character name is Kellen. Tanis came from this book.
Okay, nice. Some inspo there.
Yes. Amabel is a mix of several characters. One is Pulgera the Sorceress from a David Eddings series. Um, Hermione from the Enchanted Forest Chronicles. Yeah. So I kind of merged those two to make Amabel.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. So, publishing a book is no small feat, and we kind of touched on this a little bit of what got you to say, hey, I'm doing this. What was your biggest aha moment during the publishing process?
That actually uploading your book is not as scary as the editing process.
Oh, editing. See, I can relate, right? So, is
Yes.
editing, the publishing of it is probably a little bit easier than the editing. So, how do you get through editing without ending up on the floor crying? Because I know
Well,
I.
um, I actually enjoy doing my personal edits and enjoy what my beta readers give feedback on. It's getting it back from the editor that is the most, you know, intense time because that's like the last step before you push the button to put it on all of the publishing sites.
So it's almost as if you could finally go.
Yes.
So, can you share any funny or unusual stories that happened while you were writing or promoting your book?
So funny story. I was actually a little apprehensive about pushing that button to start the pre-orders when SD Houston asked me if I wanted to be on Charm Chats and asked me for my publishing date. And I was like, well, I guess now I have to actually push that button.
You sort of had a
So
nudge.
I had it set for February 12th, and the Charm Chats was on my birthday on February 15th. Yeah, that
I love that.
it
So
was
that's
just sitting there. Everything was all set up on all the platforms, and I was just like, "Am I going to do this?"
you're like, once I do this, there's no going back. I'm like doing this. Am I really doing this? I
Yes.
can understand that. Absolutely. So, writing isn't always easy. And I understand you have your 1,200 words a day minimum that you try to adhere to. How do you push through a writer's block or a tough day?
Um, well, I don't really believe in writer's block since I'm more of a planster, but like a creative thinker, write as I go.
Right.
The story comes to me as I write. If I'm having a tough day, I can usually skip to a different part of my book that I already know where I want it to go. If I do get really stuck, I reach out to my critique partners for bouncing ideas off of, or some of my other friends who are like heavy readers.
Okay. So, share with the audience what a plantser is.
Um, I have a plan. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a detailed plan. I
Mm-hmm.
have a beginning, middle, and an end. And all of my stories, I pretty much know how they start and end. I just need to fill in the middle. I'll have a few pointers as to what I want to happen in the story, but those points can change at any time. depending on how the story is progressing.
Intuitively, right? Intuitively
Yes,
writing. Hmm.
yeah.
Nice. Just for those of you who might not have known what that was, thought we would dive into that a little bit. So, if your book were to be adapted into a movie, who would you dream cast in the lead roles?
When I was writing The Witch's Crystal and her attitude and how she interacted with people, Tristan Mays from the latest MacGyver series
Oh,
is Amabel. If you want to know who Amabel is, it is Tristan Mays off of MacGyver.
oh, I love that. I love that. So, we all love a good story. What's one book, not your own, that you would recommend that everyone would read?
If you love a good medieval fantasy with a simply complicated magical system, like there are downsides to it, and you want to know character development and how to bring your side characters to life to where they feel that it's their own story, I highly recommend The Belgariad by David Eddings. And it's a 10-book series. It was written in the 80s, childhood favorite. Yeah,
I love that cover. It's beautiful.
it is. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that alone would gravitate me toward it. So balance is key. I'm gonna get a little personal here,
Okay.
if you don't mind. We're so unprofessional here. We try. How do you juggle writing with other responsibilities or interests?
Time management. And it is hard to stop the writing to do the admin things. um, because I also have All Call Indie, and I'm one of the three chairs for the AuthorTube Writing Conference. So I do have those obligations that I like to fill. So time management, yes, at least 2 hours a day for 4 days of writing, and the rest of the time would be for those tasks.
Okay, so on the topic of time management, how do you then juggle All Call Indie, which I think you should maybe dive in a little bit more about that. I think our audience would like to know what you do there because what you do there is actually quite amazing. I'm well aware of it, but I want everyone else to know since we have you
Uh,
here.
Thank you. All Call Indie is a database of freelancers for indie authors. Fun side note is most of those freelancers are indie authors themselves. So they know what you as an indie author are going through. We have everything in the database from editing, cover design, map making. I believe we have at least one translator on there and 3 audiobook narrators. That might have bumped up to 4. I'll have to double check, but that's what that is. I'll call India is mostly email based. So I try the first Friday of every month to have an open call session, and I reach out to the freelancers to see if that month if they have a new opening for clients or if they have a promotion or a helpful video or blog post to put on there as well.
Yeah, it's amazing what you do with that. I mean, bringing so many people together with different skills that can really help each other. It's an amazing community. It will be in the description below so that you guys can check that out as well.
And I want to say that my critique partner, C. Phillips, helped me with that because she is a whiz with the organization on that side
I
of it.
love that. Oh, it's all about that organization and the time management, really, right? So let's dream big. What's next on your creative journey? Any new projects, ideas, or genres you're excited to explore or give us a sneak peek?
Well, I'm almost finished with The Witch's Mirror, which is book 2. Huh, fun fact, The Witch's Crystal is the conclusion of the 5-book series because I wrote it backwards because I did not know how it was going to progress. So The Witch's Mirror is supposed to be first in the series. I hand it over to my copy editor tomorrow.
Woo!
So yes, next on my list is The Witch's Sword, which is a continuation, and that will be Basil's story.
Oh, this is
And
exciting.
yeah, have you finished reading The Witch's Crystal?
Do not tell me the end.
I won't. Okay.
I've
So
not finished reading it.
everything that happens in The Witch's Crystal is what I'm writing right now. So the next book is where the bad stuff really goes down.
Okay, because
Yep.
I'm already
But
in love with it. I got 2 chapters to go, but I'm just saying, like, like I have an idea what's going down, but I don't want to. I'm gonna.
yep. I
'Cause I'll
do have
talk
a
too much.
Reading Stories account, and on there I've got my steampunk project, and I also have my Arthurian legend project. My steampunk involves think Indiana Jones, Stargate, and the Mummy mashed into a Victorian steampunk era world.
Oh wow, that's amazing. So, can you share a piece of advice that you wish someone had given you when you'd started your writing journey?
Don't give yourself unrealistic deadlines. Just because one person can write a book in 3, 4, 5 months does not mean that it'll take you that long to do it. My mistake I made is I booked a copy edit because I had a really good writing streak and I thought I would make it, but I had, to pay the penalty price for canceling and everything like that and wasn't able to finish until a year later. And if it's your first book, it's okay to take your time and
Yes.
learn to learn that creative process to, figure out what that next step is going to be.
Nice. So, fun tidbit about Devon is that she's a planner addict, number one. But the other thing I want you guys to know is she plays the violin. I
Yes.
want to know more about this. This is like a secret talent. Hello. Bring you into the
Um,
recording studio next. That's what's happening. You know that's coming.
so I actually played the tenor saxophone when I was in high school marching band. My husband bought me a violin, oh goodness, 13, 14 years ago. And I was playing it pretty regularly. I'm a little more out of practice at the moment, but
Uh-huh.
yes,
Well,
the
I can
violin
relate
has
to
been
that.
yeah, the violin has been the easiest instrument for me to learn. 4 strings and a bow. I could not do the piano, could not do the guitar.
Well, I got you covered on those.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'm just going to bring you in for violin and tenor sax because now I know you play 2 instruments. There will be no hiding from me now. Okay, so let's get into maybe our last couple of questions. What is your favorite writing snack or drink?
Um, Ramen and sparkling water.
I love sparkling water. Do you flavor the sparkling water and then how do you have the ramen?
Ramen, I like semi-hard noodles, and I put like slices of pork in it. And the sparkling water, sometimes I'll add flavoring, sometimes I won't. It's a rare occasion that I go out to buy the pre-flavored stuff just because
Yeah,
we have a soda stream, so I can make it whenever I want.
I love the soda stream. I'm obsessed with it.
We got it as a Christmas gift for my dad because the amount of sparkling water we were going through.
Oh my goodness, I love it. I know. Well, we were doing the same thing, so I can completely relate. And I realized, I don't know if anyone, here's a fun fact that I learned recently. Aluminum cans actually have tons of plastic, microplastics in it. I know probably y'all didn't want to learn about any science right now, but so since I'm all paranoid about a lot of things, I wanted a new way to enjoy sparkling water and hence the soda stream. So I'm so glad we have that in
Yeah.
common. Trade some sparkling water recipes. Oh gosh. Well, thank you so much, Devin, for being here. Would you like to leave
Thank you
our
for having
audience?
me.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Would you like to leave our audience with details on how they can buy your books?
Um, my book, The Witch's Crystal, at the moment is available through all platforms: Kobo, Amazon, Drafted Digital, or if you would like, you can sign up for my newsletter and get it for free. Um, what else? The Witch's Mirror, I'm projecting sometime this winter will be published, just because it's the holiday season and I don't know what's going to happen now that my youngest is in high school with all of his extracurricular activities. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying winter for now.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, and that brings us to the end of this episode of Author Armchair Chats. Thank you guys so much for watching. And we are going to see you next time. If you like this interview, please like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share the video. For more information, links will be in the description below and also in the show notes on the podcast.